G'day, welcome back to the TFI Uncut podcast, where we're learning all about the people and personalities that come together to make this fantastic event every single year. In this episode, it's going to be a ripper, so stand by. Today, I'm here with somebody that has been spoken about a couple of times throughout these interviews. The big Ricky Mack. He's been a crowd favourite, and it's nice to actually sit down with you and get to know you a little bit more. And I'm sure the guys back at home are pretty keen to learn a little bit more about behind the scenes of what happened with your film this year and the challenges that you faced. So I think we'll just start it off with a bit of an introduction, who you are, what you get up to, because what you do is pretty spectacular, mate.
I suppose so. So, yeah, my name is Ricky Mack, most people know me by, but, and I sort of just, I don't know, have a real passion for the bush and the wildlife and the fishing and whatever. And it pretty much just takes over my whole life, basically.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to let it dominate your life, and it's cool that you've got the ability to get out there and get amongst it quite a lot.
Yeah.
What would you say your favourite part of being out in the bush is?
I don't know. Like, I just love not having to worry about anything. Like, I don't know. It's just so you just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Just wake up. The birds are singing, nice plants, there's heaps of wildlife.
No one ringing your phone and pestering you?
Nah, I don't know. There's just something about it. Like, I just like feeling the sun on my skin and the dirt on my toes and, and then everything else that comes with it. But yeah, it's just such a good feeling, such an easy life.
Yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Throughout the whole year, I'm pretty inquisitive. How many days do you reckon a year you spend out in the bush or spend in a remote location, even if that's on the water or inland?
Oh, like most of it.
Yeah.
Like, I sort of fly home. I pretty much only fly back. So my parents live on the south coast of New South Wales. That's where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of only just go back there for events. So I'll spend every Christmas at home, and then something happens, I'll hop on a plane and go back.
So where's home for you?
Oh, the south coast of New South Wales.
Yeah, cool.
So, so like really, I don't know, most of the year I'm gone. I'll only sort of spend between 1 and 3 months at home a year, maybe.
Yeah, right.
It's been a bit different this year, obviously. Like, I had a fair bit going on. I had surgery on my hand.
Yeah, so I think we'll just go straight into that. I mean, you've had quite the run of events leading up to competing in the BCF TFI this year.
Yeah.
What was your original game plan before shit hit the fan?
The original game plan was maybe probably go up Torres Straits and do some island missions with the boys up there, and then also I was thinking, just doing some runoff barra top end sort of
awesome
mission, something along those lines. But yeah, the sort of I ended up getting bitten by a goanna on my hand.
Such a random thing to happen. I mean, obviously you're out and immersing yourself in the culture and the animals and everything that's happening. How did that come about? What happened for you to get bitten by a goanna?
I mean, I was just catching it. I was just there, a bit of a lesser known species. They're like endangered and no one sort of really knows that they exist. So I just caught it to take a little video and just explain some things about the lizard like I always do. I've been bitten by hundreds of goannas, and it was just super unlucky. Like, it was on the tendon, so it was on this tendon. I can use this tendon now. But
yeah, right.
Yeah,
so you can actually see, for you guys back at home, you might be able to hold it up to the camera just here, but you can see where he's had his surgery as well. It's quite a severe bite.
Yeah.
So it was obviously poisonous, or?
No, so it wasn't. It severed the tendon.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
that's
so you've
serious.
got that. Yeah, your tendon runs along there, which is what allows you to open and close your finger.
So have you lost any feeling or anything from this?
No, I haven't lost any feeling, and it's pretty much back to 100%, but it took 4 or 5 months for it to actually come good. And when it happened, I didn't go, because when it first happened, it was only partially broken. So it was sort of stuck down, but it wasn't the whole way stuck. And I was like, I can deal with this the rest of my life.
Just a typical male, right? Oh yeah, we'll get it looked at later.
Everyone was like, I put it on Instagram, and I had all these nurses and that messaging me, and they're like, you got severed tendon, that's not going to fix itself. Like, you need surgery. And I'm like, if I get surgery, then I'm out for months.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I'll just deal with this for rest of my life. Whatever, it still works good enough.
Yeah, okay. Right. Yeah, well, at least it's your left hand and not your right.
No, I'm left-handed.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I'm left-handed. So it was terrible. And I was like, whatever. So I left it for a month or so. And then eventually it completely ruptured, and then my finger was like stuck like that.
Oh, dude,
at all.
that's gnarly.
So then that was like a whole month I'd wasted. I had to get surgery anyway, and then the time of the surgery to heal started like over a month after.
Yeah, and then obviously for you guys back at home, we get a 3-month window to film. There's a certain particular window that everyone at the TFI competing has to actually film their film. So that's completely dug into your time to be able to create content.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Pretty much the whole time. I was like, Sarah rang me up when it happened in February, and then she's like, are you still going to be able to do it, whatever? And I was like, yeah, I'll get something done one way or another.
Yep.
But like, I didn't sort of realize how long and how bad. And it's just tendons, tendons are worse than a bone break. They take ages.
Yeah.
It's just a really slow, like, just a slow process.
Yeah. I mean, I'm dealing with Achilles tendonitis myself, and all of the rehab that comes into that, and just loading it. You might just do one thing. Like, I had my boat rolling back down the street the other week, and I was pushing onto it trying to stop. This is a yellowfin plate boat. It weighs 2.5 tons.
Yeah.
And I'm there trying to chalk it up and quickly throw a brick under it. And then bam, after like 4 months of exercises trying to get it back to me being able to run and walk around, and then it's just like straight back to me limping.
Square one.
Yeah,
exactly.
So you've got to be so careful.
Well, it happened to me that many times. Like because I didn't really do any. I never went to the physio. I just had surgery and never went back anywhere.
Yeah.
I was already doing more than what they would have been telling me to do anyway.
Yeah.
So they're going to be like, you're doing too much. I'd have to go there and lie to them about what I'm doing. So I just never went anywhere. But she's good. I sorted it out myself, but it took ages. And then, it dug into heaps of the TFI time. I haven't.
Did you feel like throughout that, you've got this unwavering ability to kind of push through, and obviously you've made it now to the finish line. Was there a point there where you would just like, stuff it, I'm out?
Oh, there was many points. We had like everything go wrong.
Yeah, right.
Like,
You've had a bad run.
Yeah, we had a terrible run. And so there was a lot of times where I said it all the time. I was like, I wish I'd have said to Sarah when she ran off. I was like, I should have just said, I can't do it. Like, I didn't really know what I was in for. So like, it was kind of a hindsight thing. But once I was sort of good enough to be able to start actually doing things again, I had no time, and it was sort of the end of the season. So like for me, reptiles and fishing and that, it's all like a warmer month thing. So like doing it, by the time you're good in the middle of winter and you're out there trying to catch fish and trying to catch reptiles that are cold-blooded. Yeah, well, by the sounds of it, for the time and for the type of species that you're hunting and trying to get on film, it wasn't really the right time anyway. But then you add that element on top of it, and you're just buggered. So obviously throughout the colder months, it's not always the target species that you can normally get onto. And you've mentioned the warmer climate is sort of what you chase, and it's sort of seasonal. You add that on top of your injury, it's been a pretty tough route and a pretty tough road for you. Yeah, it was. We had that. And then my original plan was what me mate Mike from America was meant to come over and do the whole film with me. And I couldn't even work out. He said he's going to come, and then pretty much pulled out on me on like the day. Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about Mike. Who's this fella? His name, Mike, is the real Tarzan. Oh, the real Tarzan. Dude, that guy's amazing. I love his stuff. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Cool. I'm good mates with him. And we were. So how did you guys connect originally? I don't know. I've known him for about 8 years. I had an old Instagram account. Like long time ago, and it got hacked and I lost it or whatever. But back before he was, famous and whatever, me and him used to be mates on there, and we were always like, one day I'll come over there and do this and that and whatever. And then, so that would have been cool. He was going to be a part of the TFI. Yeah, he was meant to be a part of it because he was hassling me to come over, and I was like, I had all these people trying to book me up to do all this shit. And so I'm like, I can't do it. Like, I'm fucked until this is better. So then I was like, as soon as it's better, I've got to film this TFI thing. So I said, just come over and we'll just film it together. Because he comes over with his cameraman and that anyway. So like, it's all perfect. So I was like, so it would have tied in so well. Yeah, and he likes all the same stuff, the fishing and the wildlife and the whatever. So I was like, come over, we'll just go on the trip like we planned on going on. And then while we're doing that, we'll film the TFI thing at the same time. All right. So, but you got it done, and well done for pushing through and getting through all of the challenges and everything that you faced. Who ended up helping you film? Did you have a bit of a team behind you, and how did it all come together? So I had two of my mates, Tynan and Reese. Reese is from Humpty Doo in the Territory, and Tynan's from the Gold Coast here. So I drove up on like few days before we ran out of time to do the TFI thing. I drove from Sydney to the Gold Coast.
Yep.
Me and Tynan were meant to go out just a couple of hours west of the Goldie to chase cod and try and do something. And then, because we didn't think we had time.
That's a bit of a gamble in itself, chasing cod, because so many people spend hours throwing lures,
and it was winter and it was raining, and I drove up there and the weather got worse and worse. So we ended up jumping on a plane and flying to Darwin. His brother Reese was in Bali, so he got back on the 10th and the thing was due on the 13th.
Wow.
So we jumped on a plane and then we got to the airport. Turns out the night before, Tynan had booked the tickets for a month ahead. So we got to the airport and we're trying to fucking get on this plane. And the lady's there.
Kidding.
She's like, oh, I can see your booking here, but it's just, I can't get you on the plane. And she couldn't work it out. And she goes, oh, I see what you've done. You booked them for August instead of July. And we were like, you fucking looking at each other like $1,500 tickets, like they're expensive tickets.
That's unreal.
And we were like, fuck. So we ended up sitting down. We booked, the plane left at 9:40. We booked new flights at 9:15.
So you had to outlay another $1,500 to jump on
to get on the actual
and is that each
flight.
As well?
No, that's one way, but for both of us.
Yeah,
so
right. At least you could walk home. It's not far.
Yeah, not far. Yeah. So then we managed with half an hour to get on the plane. She nearly didn't let us on the plane because the tickets hadn't gone through. She goes, if you book it, I'll make sure you get on the plane. And then she just left. And then there was some new girl and I was there trying to tell her, I was like, the other lady told us that if we book them now, we'll be fine. And she's like, well, I can't say anything. And the phone's out for leave. And she called up and anyway, we got on the plane. So we lost one set of, we still got these flights.
My gosh, this is doing my head in hearing this story.
The flights actually leave to Darwin today. The ones that we meant to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got empty bloody seats on the plane.
You couldn't find someone else to take them? Or you could sell them?
No, it was, it's just a no-go. So,
yeah, right.
So we got the right tickets. We got up there and then Reese got back 2 days later from Bali. The thing was due like pretty much the next day or something. Yep. He had hectic Bali belly. He got off sick as.
This just keeps on going.
Oh, no.
This is the story from hell.
We went out on the boat and he was just like, he was spewing, squirting out of his ass, just like the whole time. Like,
and the thing is too, like when I've had Bali belly myself and you can kind of you're still coherent, you can still kind of move about and whatnot, but it's like if you just push a little bit too hard, you're done for.
Oh, he was struggling. He was drinking beer and then spewing it up and then trying to re-drink it and like then shitting out the back of the boat.
You got a nice little belly bucket on the boat.
Oh, it was no good. It was, and it was rough as out there. The forecast was just wrong.
Yeah, right.
Waves coming over the side.
What were you actually chasing when you were up there?
Oh, we went out trying to just chase some sailfish and some reds, like some reef fish. So we went out about 100 Ks out and we were going to sleep on the boat out there and then this 30-knot storm come up out of nowhere at like 10:30 at night and we were pretty chopped out, to be honest, because it'd been a big day on the boat.
Yeah.
So trying to sleep up the front, got waves coming over.
So did you have a 2-anchor set up like or you just had one pick?
We had to drive back in the middle of the night, like trying to just get, we would have fucking, yeah.
You would have been stuck out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was like 30 knots ripping 100 Ks offshore and like...
there's probably not a whole lot of help out there either.
Nah, not off the coast, not off the west coast of the territory. There's no one out there. There was one like Navy boat or something we were contemplating going and trying to tie up to that.
Yeah, that's all right. You probably could have hooked up with my brother. He would have saved you.
Oh, true. Yeah,
that's what I thought. One of the missions up there.
But no, we drove straight past it and we got into some calmer waters at like... 1 o'clock in the morning or something and slept on the boat and woke up and
got a couple of hours and then you just, all right, cool.
Oh, it was. So
did that footage end up making it into your film?
No.
That didn't even make it in.
None of it.
So you've had three or four different shots
we've had
of trying to make this happen.
Yeah.
You've got pushed down every single time. I'm counting 4 or 5 failures here.
Well, and then we struggled that whole time. The weather was just like, it was like we had like this crazy cold snap. We were getting like 8-degree mornings in Darwin, which is
that's cold for
unheard of. Yeah, it wasn't even getting to 30 during the day.
I think that's when that cold snap was happening. Record.
Yeah, it was. It was freezing. Yeah, it was a cold snap everywhere. And then, so I booked some tickets back to the Goldie to pick up my car, which is what I originally wanted to do. I'll do everything out of my car. I wanted to drive, but we didn't drive because we didn't have time. But I flew back to get my car. got to the airport, a midnight flight. Well, it was a 1 o'clock flight. We got to the airport at midnight.
Don't tell me something else.
And then there was that global IT outage.
Oh, with all the computers with Microsoft, everything went down.
And the lady is like, oh no, all flights are cancelled. And we're like, are you fucking serious? So then I lost that. That was another $1,500 gone down the drain.
Normally this shit stops at 3.
Yeah, she keeps going. Yeah, so then we missed those flights. So we had to book some new ones for the next day, which were like $1,000 each. It was like $2,000 for like another 2 one-way tickets.
Yep.
So then I flew back to the Goldie, jumped in my car. Then I drove back to Darwin in my car.
No way.
And filmed on the way there. Even the weather then, I looked at the weather and it was meant to be prime from like Thursday onwards. Every day from Thursday on was like 30 degrees out on the black soil looking for pipe ends.
Yep.
And then I got there on the Thursday and it was good. And then it just changed. And the next day it was like 21 and rain.
Oh, just another bad one.
So I just had to keep changing routes and zigzag. And I went back up to the Territory. I was meant to stay out there. And then I ended up driving back to here because the flights were that expensive to get back here for this.
Cheaper on fuel to
so I just drove back again. And I was like, fucking, so.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
And you've made it happen. So what can we actually, you've put the final touches on it. And what can we expect? What are some of the little elements that people can expect from this film? I mean, now knowing a little bit about the backstory, hats off to you for still making it happen, man, because that is just unreal that you pushed through all of those elements that went wrong. What can we expect? There's still some little juicy bits in there?
Oh, there definitely is. I mean, in the end, because of how the weather and everything played out throughout pretty much the long-term film, I ended up just, it really is just a lifestyle video of what I do on a day-to-day basis. So it's cool. Like, I'm driving around. I'm always on the lookout for wildlife. I'm always catching snakes. I'm always cooking me feeds on the fire and catching food. And, so it's got all of those aspects in there. I love just eating. I'm eating things that I find, catch, or whatever.
Have you ever eaten a snake?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What sort?
I actually ate a taipan once, the roadkill one I took home.
How was it?
Up north. Yeah, it's just stringy white meat.
Stringy white meat, yeah.
But I've eaten like scrub pythons and things like that. Just roadkill ones that you just, I don't know, you throw them in the back of your car and then you're like, oh.
Yeah. I mean, so much meat goes to waste just with roadkill. Something that really annoys me is down in Tasmania, you're legally not allowed to use roadkill in your cray pots when you're going like for rock lobster.
Yeah.
But if you shoot them on your own property, then you can.
Yeah.
But like there's so much, you drive to some of these remote areas down in Tassie where I'm from, and on the way there, you're like, oh, that's great, crab meat or whatever. And you can't use it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously people will still do the dodgy and chuck it in, but there's so much meat just in general that goes to waste. And I mean, kangaroo gets sent overseas as a delicacy.
Yeah.
Have you eaten kangaroo?
Oh, yeah.
Plenty of times?
I eat it like every day,
Yeah. That's awesome. Is that what's your favourite red meat to eat?
Honestly, my favourite red meat's probably sea turtle.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen some on Best Ever Food Review Show. They've done some cool stuff up in the top end as well, where they've eaten them. You have to be pretty privileged to be able to eat them.
Yeah, I've lived in a lot of Indigenous communities.
Yeah, so you've had all of that.
Yeah, so we go out. They just go out with the boys. We go hunting and obviously I'm an animal lover and I love whatever, but I also love culture.
That's so cool that you're invited into those communities and the elders give you that permission as well, because it's something that not a lot of people get access to. Can you tell me a little bit more about some of those experiences?
I mean, it's pretty full on when you're like, sort of the only white fellow that's in town hanging out. But we just out there. I do the same things as what we're doing day to day. We're just out there. We just go out hunting, and I'm showing them all the snakes and everything. And we go out hunting turtles and dugongs, and I don't know, in the rainforest, catching flying foxes and all sorts of stuff. And you do, massive cook-ups and ceremonies and all sorts of. Yeah, you get up to all sorts. It's good. Wildlife, I love it. Like it's literally what I like doing.
So I can see all of the passion that sort of comes out throughout everything that you do out there in the wilderness. What would you say to some of the guys back at home that just want to spend a bit more time outdoors and get out and amongst it?
Just do it, honestly. Everyone thinks I've got they think I got some magic key or whatever. You just got to do it.
Yeah.
Anyone can do it. You just hop in the car and just go.
Yeah. I mean, what's that saying? The more you fuck around, the more you find out.
Yeah. I mean, there's no like, I don't know, there's no right or wrong. You just,
there's no recipe.
Just go out on, Or even if you go out and try something, it doesn't work. You just, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Just go back to what you were doing before and try something.
So when you sort of started, what sort of things were you filming just in your early days as well? Were you just sort of running around with an iPhone and documenting some of these encounters?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I still do. But
cool.
like I've always been mad about snakes and lizards and bugs and dinosaurs when I was a kid. You know, I was eating snails in the garden and playing with dinosaur toys and then catching lizards.
Have you got a bit of a French instinct there?
I know. It's I don't know. It's just sort of a passion I've always had, and it just kind of keeps escalating. And I mean, now it's probably sort of plateaued out a bit. It used to overtake a lot of my life. I mean, now it is my life, but I mean, I can manage it a little bit better.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of pretty fantastic entrants this year to the BCF TFI. Have you had a look at some of the other entries or anyone else that's competing? Who do you think might have a strong chance at taking this home?
I don't know. I know old Coffee. Yeah, Jackson goes pretty hard, and he's a good watch, and top bloke. So I don't know. I'd probably have to say Jackson there.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, he's popped up a couple of times as well, so I think he might have a good run in with it.
Yeah.
$75,000 is up for grabs. How would that make you feel taking that money home?
Oh, mate, I haven't bloody worked a day since I got bitten, so I'm fucking pretty much an end me here. And just, so I mean, it just really would, honestly, just get me out of trouble.
Yeah, right.
Quite honest. So, yeah, I mean, it would be, I probably wouldn't have a great deal left over, but once I'm done with whatever I ended up doing. But yeah, it's sort of, for me, it's been like, this has been a tough year just for me because I haven't been able to work. I haven't been able to make money. I haven't been able to do anything. Really.
Yeah.
So
you've really,
doing
just hearing.
And then all of these expenses, but we kept pushing on and pushing on.
Yeah.
I was like, we come this far. Like,
And as you know, like everyone gets $5,000 for entering as well. And to have that capital behind you is pretty helpful. But with everything that's gone wrong for you, you chewed into that so quickly.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. We're still, we're way over.
I'm not going to ask you what your total budget was, but if there was anything that you could say to the viewers back at home to encourage them to throw a vote your way, what would you say to them?
I don't know. I mean, watch everyone's and just, if you think mine's good, then vote for me. I don't know. Nah, just if you like me stuff, then vote for me. If you like someone else, vote for them.
I like that. It's very genuine. That's a genuine call to action. That's the way. I love the way that this is kind of laid out as well. You have a vote from 1 to 10, and people can sort of vote, obviously, from 1 to 10. If you're in the top 3, you have a better chance. And the way the recipe for the voting is laid out is it doesn't necessarily favour anyone. And, you might have a solid audience and a solid following, but it doesn't necessarily mean that just because you've got a big following that you're in it to win it and you're going to take it home and take home the cake. I think the quality that comes through a lot of the films as well, that really comes into consideration. So just by sitting at home, watching and voting and really taking into consideration who you think deserves to take home this prize, your vote goes a long way.
Yeah.
One other thing that I would just like to touch on is going back to your recipes. Do you have a specific roadkill recipe for a smorgasbord of your roadkill eats that you would like to share with anyone? What's your favourite thing?
Salt, mate.
Just salt?
Just salt.
Just add salt?
Just salt. Just add salt. Lemon the world, salt the world, mate. That's it. You don't need any more in life, just lemon and salt.
Lemon and salt. Do you just walk around with like a big 10 kilo bucket of salt?
Just a bit of sea salt, mate. A lot of the time the salt doesn't even make it on there, to be quite you're cooking it on the fire. It's covered in sand and ash and shit. Well, it's good quality, solid food. It's organic, mate. None of this bullshit that you get out of the supermarket.
Meat's so expensive now too, isn't it ridiculous?
Yeah, that's why we just shot a couple of buffaloes up in the territory, and I actually bought buffalo back on the plane with me to drive back up to the territory in my car. So I was just cooking that in bushfires and that on the way up. Saves you lighting your own fire, you just cook it in a bushfire.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's all dry season, they're burning all the time. So I just cart around my own meat. I always fly back and forth or drive back and forth, fish billets and meat, whatever. And
that's bloody epic.
And then it's
back seal them and
just chop it up and back seal it. And it's good as, and it's good. No bullshit. It's just honest organic meat, mate. A bit of salt.
I love that. I need to start eating some more roadkill in my life. I think.
Nah, seriously.
Not that there's a whole lot.
Good, mate.
Not that there's a whole lot around the coast. We actually went inland, did some filming a couple of weeks ago, and I was surprised because down in Tassie, where I'm from, you see it everywhere. But up here, I guess it's going to take you a lot further inland until you actually come across it. Everything's fenced off.
Oh, mate, as soon as you're out west, like on these roads in central Queensland and that, it is like everywhere. Like you cannot even be looking at any time without seeing some dead kangaroo. Like, hey, obviously lots of dead kangaroos and a lot of dead kangaroos and wallaroos, but also now because Queensland just is the first time it's been drought free in 100 years. The water tank is entirely full, and the amount of pigs and cats that have exploded out there is like unreal. Like my mind was just
when you say exploded, is it just they're fattened up?
Just breeding up because the conditions are just so good. Like this is the best time this has been the best few years for snakes and all wildlife out there because they've just had so much rain and so much good weather, and the amount of roadkill because of the amount of animals, all the kangaroo numbers and everything are also exploding, which is they're native animals, good, but the ferals in doing that are also out, like massively out of hand.
So we kind of need to encourage all the hunters to get out there.
Well, I do my best. Me poor new calm, chase down pigs and cats and that all the time. I do my absolute best. It drives me up the wall. So nothing infuriates me more than
those feral animals. The cats really just grinding gears, hey.
Oh, and they just destroy everything. Like they are so bad.
Kill so many birds.
Well, they're driving so many of our native mammals and bird species, especially in central Australia, like in arid zones, to extinction. They are literally the main cause of extinction of.
Would you consider yourself a conservationist?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think I'm a bit of a I don't know. I'm a bit of like a realist, and I'm not like I'm not
You're not ramming it down everyone's throat.
No, I'm not forcing it down everyone's throat. You got to be real about it. You got to you need to take everything in consideration. But like 100%. There's no way. There's no way I would consider myself a conservationist. But I'm definitely not there forcing it down everyone's throats. And you need to take
I think that kind of that subtle education as well is good for a lot of people to be able to take it in, because half the people nowadays just switch off as soon as something's rammed down their throat. They're just going to go, nah, I'm out.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, you have to go about it the right way. And so much of it is also unrealistic. You can't just, you can't just switch off the lights and go, great, like, because it doesn't work like that or whatever, all these
there's so many different moving parts.
So many different, so you got to be real about it. But I think there's definitely a happy medium where you can kind of, just get the best of both worlds and, do the best for everything in the most logical and realistic way possible.
That's really well said. I like the way that you put that. And thanks again very much for jumping on the pod today with us. It's been really cool to get to know you a little bit more, and best of luck in the TFI for this year, the BCF TFI. Don't forget to sign up and subscribe to your package that suits and tailors to your needs over at thefilminvitational.com. Once again, thanks to Ricky for popping in. Mate, you've had just such a bloody run, a bad run, but you've made it happen. So, well, cheers to that.
Cheers to that, mate.
And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Watch them as soon as they come out over at thefilminvitational.com and subscribe to it on Apple Music and Spotify. Thanks very much for tuning in, and we will see you in the next one.